Welcome back to episode 3 of our journey into the film This Island Earth, 1955 classic. And to take us out of our 3-part expose of
our trilogy.
We're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to do a bit of a quiz, a bit of a knowledge quiz.
I'm a scientist.
Don't cross the streams.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
It may shock you. It might even horrify you.
Right. Now, the probe is basically a segment that from time to time it'll be a full-blown quiz, right? And in this instance, it's a full-blown quiz, right? Now, what do we need for a quiz?
Questions.
The host.
The
Before
quizmaster.
we need questions.
The host.
Buzzers.
Tingle, tingles.
So I have buzzers.
God help us all. Ooh, these look awesome.
One for
Oh, wow.
Rick, one for Tom.
Orangey.
RNG the buzzer cat.
All right, so just test your buzzers, Rick. Tommy.
Doorbell.
Nice.
Perfect.
So you might have to hold them a little close to the microphone. They don't have to be right on top of it, but yeah, that's better. Yeah, nice. Rick. Yeah, nice.
Noot.
Okay, so there will be a little bit of an honesty system as far as who buzzed in first, right? And so without any further ado, let's get into the quiz for This Island Earth.
Why should I care? What's my prize?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So at the end of the series, right, towards the end of the series, after multiple movies, the winner gets a Lamborghini Diablo street car.
Okay.
Right?
200,000.
That's after a point score tally that will go towards the end of the season. The second place person gets nothing,
It's a
but the third place pays for the Lamborghini for first place.
And what scale is the Lamborghini?
Yes.
1 to 1. So it's important to have something to fight for. Okay. So this is our movie, obviously, This Island Earth, and it's important to know the rules. And the rules of this is only one answer per player for each question. Now, what that means is if you buzz in and your answer is incorrect, you cannot re-answer for that question.
Once you've lost, yeah.
But other people can.
Yep.
So if you're incorrect and I say incorrect, then the other two people can buzz in to answer the question. Cool?
Cool.
Once we've exhausted the question, then we move on, right? Every question is worth 10 points, but be aware there are some points throughout the quiz where you can have triple points. So if you're lagging behind, you can make up some ground with some triple point explosions.
Okay.
Fascinating.
All right, and the last one is critical there, which is the judge's decision is final, which is my decision.
Okay.
Right, but bear in mind that I'm not entirely responsible for the answers of this quiz.
So it sounds like the judge's
And that comes from
decision
higher up.
doesn't necessarily obey any of the rules.
Well, it's important to know that if you're not happy with the judge's decision, it's not always mine. It comes from higher up, right? The producers of the show,
At
the
head
network.
office.
Yeah,
Head office.
exactly. Head office. They pass that sort of stuff
We're
down.
the producers.
Which your decision is fine. So any questions about the rules? We're good?
Yeah.
We're going to get into the first question. Okay, so question number 1, and you must let me ask the question before you buzz in.
Okay.
What was the name of the studio that produced the film? Who's the toy?
That was me. Do I have to also identify?
Can I go now so I can go second? If he gets it wrong?
No, you got to buzz in if he gets it wrong.
So it was Universal International.
Let's have a look. And he's absolutely correct, Universal International. So what we can do is we can add Dan as the winner for this, and he now has 10 points.
Sweet.
Question number 2. Who directed This Island Earth?
Well, I won't say this first director. I will tell you what the name of the second director is.
Right.
Because there was 2 directors.
Okay.
And I forgot the name of the director, which is very embarrassing. But he didn't, the studio didn't like all the shots that he did on Metaluna. So they brought in the famous Jack Arnold, who had done creature films before, to reshoot all the Metaluna scenes.
So at the moment, none of that you just said is on my answer sheet
Well,
at all.
You didn't do your research.
And I can't give you half points for half answers.
Yeah, half of 10 is 5.
Okay,
Dave.
no, I can't. I've already coded this and programmed this in, and it's at 10 points for giving me what I've got on my answer sheet. So, unfortunately, anyone else want to buzz in? Nope. All right, so points go missing for that one. It was, of course, directed by Joseph Newman.
Of course.
Okay. He was the director of the film that we've been talking about for an hour and a half.
No, it's very embarrassing that none of us looked that up.
Next question. Cal flies his jet from Washington to Los Angeles. What's odd about his jet? Or what's odd about his plane?
It was lent to him by Lockheed. They just lend a scientist a jet, and that's my answer. I'm right.
Well, that is odd, right? And it is an answer, but it's incorrect. Any other takers?
It doesn't work very well because it was broken and he almost crashed it.
I think the aliens had something to do with that, but I don't know. You might be right. But it's not the answer I had.
Yeah, it's what is it? F-113, and that wasn't made by Lockheed.
It's very good. It's almost worth the points, and we might have to go to a vote system to see if it's worth the points. The answer I had is it's backwards.
What now?
Backwards?
It's backwards. Every shot of the jet in the film is flipped.
Oh, the writing is in mirror.
All of the writing is... And do you know the reason why it's backwards?
Why?
Because whenever you show a film in the United States of traveling from the east coast to the west coast, you've got to go in the right direction.
This is going from Washington
You
to
can't film it from
California.
Canada. You have to film the trajectory of the plane from Mexico. Does that make sense?
Why?
I don't know. It's just a natural thing, and it's like whenever you. Is it longitude, latitude?
You're talking about longitude.
So it looks
yes.
right on a map. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So when you look at it on a map and then you see it in the movies, you're like, those things are the same.
makes
So
sense.
I know where he's
So
going.
much so that if you film it the other way, it looks like you're going the wrong direction.
Because he was going to California,
Yeah, so he's
right? So
going-
the California would be on the left side of the
So
screen.
he's going from right to left.
Exactly. So that's why they flipped it. Because they
That's-
originally filmed it going the other direction.
That is some serious attention to detail right there.
It's one of those crazy things. It's like good guys always enter from the left, bad guys enter from the right. It's a
Which is a
strange,
very, very loose
cerebral thing. Yeah.
Very loosely observed rule.
So no one gets the points at the moment.
I think the studio should get the points for
Dan
that.
Dan is in front with 10 points.
Annihilating the competition currently.
Completely.
So we've got a shot of Tom Cruise on the screen here. So everybody's wondering what's going on. What does this film have in common with Tom Cruise? With Top Gun, sorry. Tom.
Ding ding dong. He buzzes the tower.
That is absolutely 100% correct. Both of our main characters buzz the control tower. So Tom gets the points. 10 all, Tom and Dan. Rick moving up in third place.
Sort of hovering in third place currently.
Question number 4. What What is the name of the device Cal and Joe build in the lab? I think it was Tom.
But I think we all know the answer to that one. Everyone should get 10 points. It's an interocitor.
It is an interocitor. And everybody did buzz in. Tom was the quickest.
It should be Tom.
Just out of courtesy, everybody waited for you to finish your sentence. They could have all buzzed in. I think everybody should get a 10 points for this.
Well, that's not how a quiz works. To hell with everybody. Next question. What type of device is the interocitor? Rick?
It is a supercomputer communication device, death ray spitting machine.
Let's just say MacGuffin.
So I'm not going to count that out as a correct answer just yet, but I'm going to leave it open. Does anyone else have an idea of what type of device it is?
It's like MacGuffin. It can do everything, whatever the story requires.
Because remember, you have to give me the answer that I've got.
Yeah.
They can't be looking at.
It's an alien device. It's an alien device. There you go. I'll clarify my answer. You said what type of device? Alien device.
Which means you've overwritten your previous device. Are you happy with that? Sorry, your previous answer.
Once you've answered, you can't answer
Yeah,
again.
I think you're probably better off sticking with the answer you had.
All right, then. I'll go with it's an alien device.
It's a thingy.
All right, so we've got a thingy, got an alien device, and we've got a supercomputer that, what was it?
Communicates and shoots
Atomic
death
rays.
Well, the answer we have is it's Skype with freaking laser beams, which is pretty close
to what I say.
Pretty close to Rick, and I think we'll give the points to Rick. Next question. Triple
Cash up.
Triple points opportunity. Question number 7. And this one's going to be a little tricky. Remember, you have to give me the answer that I have, right? Describe the past relationship between Ruth and Cal. Rick?
They were past lovers who had a one-off thing at a conference in Vermont.
Vermont even.
Any other takers? I'll leave that open. It's pretty good.
They went to a conference together and they went swimming together.
Right. Tommy, anything?
I have nothing to add.
All right. I think Rick might have it because she tickled his pickle for a nickel. Is the answer the official answer that we had.
Was that in the movie?
It might have been in the movie. Look at
Did you see the
look at this
movie?
photo. Look at these horny aliens all around.
Swollen foreheads.
Oh, and I love the helmets that they have, the plastic helmets that don't mess up their hair.
So officially, she tickled his pickle for a nickel. So Rick gets a big boost.
What?
And he is now in the lead at 40 points.
The system is rigged.
Tom in second place with 20 points. Dan is in third place with 10 points. As we move into round 2, we have question 8. What is the name?
Not allowed.
Hadn't
Sorry.
finished.
Yes.
Disqualified. Hasn't
Disqualified.
finished the question yet.
Yes, a little too early.
Yeah.
A little too early.
That wasn't me.
I think
It was Rick.
I think it was Tom. What is the name of the lab cat? Oh, Rick.
Neutron.
Orangey.
Yes, pinch.
Nah, that's
Neutron.
the
It's Neutron.
actor's name.
That's right.
Yes,
Yes.
Do you want the actor's name or the character's name?
Points go to Rick.
What was the question? What was the name of the cat?
Yes.
Well, the cat's name is Orange.
No, what was the name of the lab cat?
Yes. It's Neutron.
Okay.
So
Still
the
positive.
character is
Yes.
Neutron,
That's
played
right.
by the famous Orangey.
That's right.
Award-winning.
Also called rhubarb and many other names.
All right, question number 9. What type of landmass does Russell Johnson, who plays Dr. Steve Carlson, prefer? Who was that? Rick?
Yep. An island.
Absolutely correct, Rickers. He likes Gilligan's Island. He was on Island, which contained the crab monsters, and he was also on Island Earth.
And space.
And those 3 films are actually what he's famous for. He was in a bunch of other films, but these 3 films are what he was actually famous for. And all of them happen on an island. Well,
Sort of.
No, space is an ocean. You know, every spaceship is named after nautical terms. All the spaceship.
I'm happy with
words,
that.
And the fact that Earth is portrayed as an island in this film just helps that trope.
So the winner is Rickers. Yeah?
Yep.
Ooh, he's coming home strong. Okay. True or false? Is Brack an arsehole?
Everybody's got an opinion.
Was that you?
Yep.
Okay.
He is definitely an asshole.
He is the company man.
Yes, he is an arsehole. He took way too much pleasure of sending
enjoys
the
his
laser
job way too
beams
much.
after the car, and he wanted to zap everybody's brain. So absolutely, Brack is an arsehole. Next question. What is the name of Exeter's home world? I think it was Tom.
It's Metaluna 4.
Well,
Actually, Metaluna is the home world, but it's never mentioned that it's the fourth planet.
and I've seen it spelt two different ways. Metaluna, all one word, but also meta and then luna as separate words.
I've never seen that,
Both
so-
on posters, so from different cultures. But absolutely correct, Tommy. And you get the points. Okay. What is the name of the attacking alien forces over Metaluna? I think it was Dan.
It was perfectly timed. They are the Zargons.
That is absolutely correct. Would you...
Potentially with a whole bunch of G's and H's thrown in there, but no X's.
There's some H's and G's in there. That's exactly right. I was about to ask for a bit of a spelling.
Potentially, yeah.
So Dan,
If you had asked how to spell it, we probably none of us would have got it.
yes,
Maybe
would have
Dan.
been a bit tricky. Zahgons. Zagon. All right, next question. 30 points. It's a big one, and remember, it's the answer that I have written down.
Okay.
Like the triple pickle tickle.
The tickle pickle for a nickel. What was wrong with Ruth when the mutant attacked her? Rickers.
She was weak from the compression-y being in the tube.
Is that why she kept falling over and stumbling?
It's
is it?
not what I've got here. Any other takers? What was wrong with Ruth when the mutant attacked her? Dan.
She was all just screamy, floppy, and twisted ankly.
It's closer to what I've got, but it's not exactly what I've got. Tom, would you care to throw an answer
She
out there?
was, being a woman, she was probably hysterical.
So the question is, what was wrong
In those
with
films.
Ruth? It was her acting. So no points. No points at all.
Hey, look,
Go to-
apparently, she like hurt herself in that because she was like rolling downstairs sideways across the thing and falling out. So yeah, she like bruised the shit out of
Now
herself.
she was the actress Faith Demure. She
Yeah.
was a protege of Howard Hughes. I think she
really?
was even married to him at some point.
Really?
He owned RKO Studios
Okay.
and later gave her lots of roles at RKO, but they didn't take off because she wasn't really a trained actress.
Yeah, I think they just found
got
her
that.
as somebody
She
who
was
was
not-
like really
yeah.
attractive, and they just said, "Hey,
Not-
put her in the movie."
I
Yeah,
got
she
that.
was hoping to become a big actress, movie star, and he tried to help her, and eventually he had lots of dalliances with other actresses that he favored and helped get film roles, and he eventually gave up on her.
She's almost stereotypical of the B grade actress. But this movie comes from a time where this is not a B grade film. This is actually a true
Yeah.
budget and all the rest of it. So she may have set a trend for this type of acting, which later became famous.
Scream Queen,
Yeah.
first Scream Queen.
We like that style, when
Yes.
really the style is can't act.
So the 30 points goes begging. In the,
Well, I think your
goes to
answer
the house.
sucks.
Well, you can't deny that it was her acting that was wrong with Ruth.
I think it was in the script.
That's wrong with Faye. What was wrong with Ruth, the character? Two separate things.
Oh, he's got me on a technicality,
Yeah.
but we've moved on. How did the mutant die? Tommy.
His cells exploded because he couldn't take the pressure differences.
Dan.
Well, actually, do I have to give the true answer or the answer that's on your sheet?
You've got to give the answer that's on my
He
sheet.
dissolved.
All right. He dissolved. Well, he was crushed due to the pressure.
It wasn't crushed. Quite the opposite.
What do you think, Rick?
He decompressed all of a sudden.
He decompressed.
Well, the answer that I have is more about what I saw on film. He fell over. And you can't deny that that's exactly how his demise was.
They explain in the film.
Because the question is, how did he die? Well, he fell over.
He fell over.
Yes.
He actually bumped his head a little
Not
bit. On
why did he die?
and he didn't bump his. He bumped his brain on the console.
There was a big
over.
hit on the ground with the brain. Did you see
Yeah.
it sort of bounce
Yeah.
as he's hit the ground?
At the when they take the spaceship out and they explain the decompression and the compression thing to then Cal Meacham says, "Oh, I guess our cells would otherwise explode and evaporate into nothing." And they say, "Yes, that is what would happen." So he prefaces that end that the mutant goes to. Incidentally, the picture he had earlier had all the blood streaming out of his thing. That was tomato sauce.
It looked like tomato
It
sauce.
was tomato sauce.
Wow.
And it started smelling really bad on the bright because Technicolor needed a lot of light on the set. These sets were very, very hot. The tomato sauce stank up the entire place.
And it wouldn't have been full of preservatives like our tomato sauce. It would have actually been tomato.
I know.
All right. This is our final question. It looks like Rick's run away with it. I don't know whether there's much of a chance. So it's a fight out for second place. So really, Rick, you should let the boys fight this one out.
I don't want to pay for the Lamborghini. I'll let Dan have third place and I'll go for second.
Okay. Did Cal and Ruth live happily ever after? Rick?
We don't know. It was in the sequel that never happened.
Tom?
Yes.
Okay, you
Now
went.
you go.
Tom?
Now you go. No, and then we have.
Well, okay, no, they
Okay.
didn't live happily ever after.
Well, Dan went no, and therefore wins because no, Cal neglected to check the fuel level, and they plummeted into an ammonia factory.
Says who?
In the picture.
That's the spaceship.
No,
exploding.
this is the picture for the question, and clearly they're plummeting into an ammonium factory. I just didn't want them to live happily ever after.
Oh, you didn't want that.
No.
Right. Well, Dan wins.
So Dan wins. I love the way Tom went 50. He said, there's 50-50. Fuck it. I'm going to go yes. Nope.
Well, he left it ambiguous. So.
Your answers are shit.
So I could have gone a very scientific, correct path. I decided to go
He
something
kept telling her she was a sissy for the rest of her life.
little more anticipated. So this one goes to Dan. Our final scores. Rick with 60 points takes out the inaugural. Is this the inaugural?
Yes.
With the big win, 60 points. Dan, second place, 40 points. Tom moving into third place with 30 points. I'll be keeping a tally as we move into future films. And when we get to the end of the season, we'll be able to tally those up and see who's up for having to purchase the Lamborghini Diablo.
Excellent.
Secondhand, you can buy it secondhand. I don't really mind as long as it is
Authentic.
and a Diablo Lamborghini, 1-to-1 scale. You could build it out of wood.
Might be out of used toilet paper.
All right, gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our first rebooted Voyage of the Geek. Are we happy with the format? There's probably a little bit of workshopping to happen. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's there.
Yeah.
Bit of
Yeah.
tweaking.
yeah. I think it's somewhere where we're happy to keep heading in this direction, but please feel free to let us know in the comments of any sort of social media avenue that we release material. But before we sign off, we like to rate the movie as a buy, borrow, burn.
Buy, borrow. Wasn't there a rent?
Well, borrow is
Borrow.
wrong.
Yeah.
Has to start with B.
We'll go this way because I'm always turning to you first, right? You can have a respite.
I'm in the buy. Yep.
So you'd buy this, put this in the collection.
I noted that it only costs like $4 or something. Or other,
So
I'm in
price
the
was
buy.
part of it.
Yes, right. But yes, price was
But you
part of
also
it.
have to factor in the time it takes you to watch it, and how many more times will you watch it?
And I happen to know it's also free on YouTube because people just post it up everywhere.
It is free
so
on YouTube, yeah.
I'm well in the buy camp.
Okay.
As it is free on YouTube, I would never buy it.
Okay.
I would borrow it.
You'd borrow it, but you probably wouldn't burn it.
I wouldn't. No.
Okay.
It's a
Ricketts.
well-made movie.
Yeah, borrow.
Okay, borrow, and I'm in the borrow camp as well. I probably wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray or something like that for the collection, but I'd certainly watch it if I came across it at 3 a.m. in the morning or something like that. It's a borrowable film. So that's it for our first episode of Voyage of the Geek. We'll be back soon with a brand new episode and similar format. Until then, it's bye from me.
Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adeus.
How many of you